God's story, your life. Unfolding short stories.
Have you ever felt like God asked you to do something that didn't make any sense to you until it did? My friend Melissa has a story like that. Melissa's a worship leader at a church, but I got to work with her for several years in radio. And in that time, I always experienced her as a person who wanted to bring her relationship with Jesus into the conversation. And she always had a smile on her face while she was doing it. Well, I gave her a call last week to see if she had any stories that you might want to hear, because she's got a whole lot of them, and this is the one that she felt like God would have her to share.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I spent over 25 years in broadcast media selling advertising. Parts of that included writing and producing television commercials. One day, I was sitting at my desk, and my boss came in to work, and he was running late for an appointment, and he had forgotten that he was scheduled also to be at one of his clients producing a commercial that day. So he had double booked himself. So he asked me, he said, "Hey, will you go oversee the production of this television commercial with my client this morning?" And of course I said yes. And so I went to the place of business where we were shooting the commercial. And I walked in and I introduced myself to the receptionist that was there. And when I did, something unexpected happened. I felt God's presence. I felt God's presence immensely. And I was taken aback by it. Like, I definitely noticed it. And we chit-chatted just for about 10 seconds. And then I went on in to produce the commercial. And when we were done with that and I was going back out, I stopped by the receptionist's desk and I asked her again what her name was, just so that I would know, but just to remember it, because it had just been an interesting experience. I did not say anything to her about the fact that I felt God's presence when I was talking to her, but I knew it, right? So I leave their place of business and I go back to the station. And I had no more than sat back down in my chair. And I heard God say, you know how it's like, it's not in that audible way, but it's in the way that you just know that God said it. So I sat down, I had just sat down and I heard God say, "That girl you just met, I want you to tell her that you love her." And to be honest, my immediate thought back was, that is crazy. There is no way I'm doing that. Like, she'll think I'm crazy. And besides that, she's my boss's client. She's not even my client. Like, I don't know this girl. And so I didn't do it right then. But literally all night long, God would not stop saying to me over and over and over, "Tell her you love her. Tell her you love her. Tell her you love her." And so the next day when I went back into the office, I found out what her email was. And I sent her an email. And I can't even tell you what all that email said or didn't say, but I can tell you that it said this. I said, "I love you." And I typed out her name. And then I went on to quote scriptures of God's love. And then I sat back and thought, she's going to think I'm crazy. She's going to think I'm off my rocker. That's literally what I thought. And I don't remember exactly how long it took her to reply to that email, other than the fact that I remember that she replied the same day. And she said, "Melissa, you have ruined my makeup today. My husband is a pastor, and we recently left the church where he pastored at. We have felt betrayed by people who we thought were our best friends. Feeling like no one loved them," she went on to say, "because of that, she had just asked God if He even loved her. And if He did, that she needed to know it in a tangible way. And then she received the email that I had felt led by God to send. She receives an email from a complete stranger saying, "I love you," and then quoting scriptures about God's love for us. For me, it was an awesome experience of joining God on mission right in my workplace. For her, it was a confirmation of God sees me, God hears me, and God loves me.
Hearing Melissa's story here challenges me to love more intentionally, listen more regularly. John 10:27 says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." I hope Melissa's short story can encourage you to hear, know, and follow. And then there's the other thing that I hope this story does, that you will know deeply that God sees you, hears you, and loves you.